and welcome to the Barrel Full of Daryl podcast. My name is Daryl, and I am your host. In this podcast, we, and I mean the royal we, selectively discuss music, movies, and perhaps provide a bit of mirth. Regarding the music, I will select an artist or band that is personally significant to me, music that has gone straight to my heart. You may not be familiar with the selection, but my intent is to change that. As for the movies, they are more universal, and you may likely know them. And a bit of mirth is thrown in occasionally. So, here we go. You've likely heard of the band that I will discuss today, Pink Floyd. They were founded in 1965 by a guy named Syd Barrett, his friend Roger Waters, as well as Nick Mason and Richard Wright. They released a successful first album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and yielded 2 hit singles. In 1967, David Gilmour joined the band as lead guitarist. Due to deteriorating mental health, Syd Barrett left the band the next year. He heavily favored and used LSD, and his decline spiraled until his death. So this leaves us with a core band that lasted for decades. Roger Waters was the primary lyricist and the conceptual mind behind their albums. David Gilmour was the band's voice and its instrumental focus. Their first 5 albums, released in the 60s, were psychedelic and progressive, and their success continued. Personally, I don't care for these albums, likely because I have not listened to them while stoned. So you may wonder about the name of the band. At the time, the band was named the T-Set, but when they were co-billed with a band of the same name, it needed to be changed. Syd Barrett was a fan of the blues music, and 2 of his favorite artists were Pink Anderson and Floyd Council, thus the name Pink Floyd. As a side note, it's funny that in the lyrics for Have a Cigar from the album Wish You Were Here, a Fat Cat record producer, on first meeting the band, asked which one of you is Pink. So in 1973, they released the album Dark Side of the Moon, one of the most commercially successful albums of all time, and the 3rd best-selling album in the world. If you've not heard of it, you may leave the room now. Just kidding, please stick around. The album is thematic, and lunacy is the main theme, as well as a wasted life. I recall hearing the hit single Time as a teenager, and I thought, holy shit. This album is not merely music, it's a story and a sonic show. 1975, they released the album Wish You Were Here as a tribute to their founder, Syd Barrett. Of all their albums, this one is in my top 3. It really showcases the musicianship of the band members, especially David Gilmour. In my opinion, and with no apologies to Eric Clapton, Gilmour is the best guitar of all time. His style is melodic with occasional heavy riffs. Have I mentioned that their music is best heard with earphones or headphones? In the acoustic introduction to the song Wish You Were Here, you can hear Gilmour release a quiet cough. Their music has many of these subliminal and not so subliminal sounds, and they're best heard with the use of earphones or headphones. So 1977 saw the release of the album Animals, also in my top 3. There are 3 very long songs titled Dogs, Pigs, and Sheep, bookended between 2 short songs, Pigs on the Wing, Part 1 and Part 2. It's a concept album loosely based on George Orwell's Animal Farm and depicts the social and moral decay of society. The dogs represent the aggressive world of business. The pigs are symbolic of the wealthy and powerful who manipulate society. And the sheep are the working class followers. Like Wish You Were Here, the musicianship is amazing and the lyrics are, it's hard to say what the lyrics are. Stunning may be a good descriptor. And it's noteworthy to say that in the last stanza of the song Sheep, the sheep rise up and kill the dogs. So now we come to 1979 with the release of The Wall. Again, holy shit. And it's also in my top 3. It's released as a double album, and it tells the story of a man born during World War II whose father died in the war, and he was raised by a controlling mother and schooled by sadistic teachers. Due to this ever-present abuse, he shuts down emotionally and builds a wall around himself. Each song progressively showcases the events in his life leading up to the tearing down of the wall. There were numerous hits from this album, including the songs Another Brick in the Wall, Hey You, and Comfortably Numb. The latter is amazing. It's a sonic masterpiece. The lyrics are spot on, and the guitar work by Gilmour is unrivaled. So go put on your headphones and listen to it, start to finish. In 1983, they released the album The Final Cut. When I say they, I mean the royal they, Roger Waters, as he wrote all the lyrics and music and disallowed input from the other members. His behavior actually began with Dark Side of the Moon. By the time this album came out, it was basically a Roger Waters project. This led to a schism, and Waters ultimately left the band, going solo. With much conflict, the remaining members carried on as Pink Floyd, with Gilmour as the lead, releasing a handful of successful albums. Gilmour and Waters also released a couple of solo albums which were well received. So that's a brief and incomplete intro to the band and the music, Pink Floyd. One of my favorites. I often have their music playing in the background in my daily life. On a personal note, I will share with you that my life parallels the story of The Wall. I was physically and emotionally abused by my mother, teachers, and some of my peers. This resulted in my social and emotional arrested development, which took me most of my life to overcome. But now my wall has been torn down. I just want to share with you the lyrics to the final song of The Wall. The song is called Outside the Wall, and here are the lyrics. All alone or in twos, the ones who really love you walk up and down outside the wall. Some hand in hand and others gathered in bands. The bleeding hearts and the artist make their stand. And when they've given you their all, some stagger and fall. After all, it's not easy banging your heart against some mad booger's wall. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Well, hi, y'all. My name is Ellie Mae Bubba. Today I'm filling in for my husband, Billy Ray, because he had to go to yet another court appearance. So I'm just pulling up to his car lot now. Let's see what we got. This place stinks. Oh, no. A Yugo. What the who the hell is going to buy a fucking Yugo that was basically a piece of shit the day it rolled off the assembly line? And what, the bottom half of a smart car? Holy shit. Well, fuck this. I'm out of here. Billy Ray, you gonna get it. No wonder we ain't got no money. Okay, we're back. The movie that we will be discussing today is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Firstly, I'll tell you a little bit about Monty Python. They were a British comedy troupe who created and performed in the BBC TV sketch show Monty Python's Flying Circus, which aired from 1969 to 1974. Now, being a British comedy, and these guys are a little nuts, this show pushed the boundaries of what was then acceptable in style and content. It was an unusual show and very funny. And following its success, the troupe began doing other things such as live shows, films, musicals, and writing books. The troupe members were Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Michael Palin, Terry Gilliam, and Terry Jones. Together, they made 3 hilarious movies, the first being Monty Python and the Holy Grail, released in 1975, and it is based on the Arthurian legend. They had written the movie and completed the writing, but they had no funding to produce it as no major studios would finance it. The troupe received donations from, most notably, Led Zeppelin, Jethro Tull, Elton John, and David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. These investors contributed the entire budget, and the making of the movie was a go. The film is mostly set in the Middle Ages during the time of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and they are on a quest to find the Holy Grail. The movie definitely has a Middle Ages feel about it, with castles, peasants, wizards, the plague, and the burning of witches. There are intermittent present-day scenes, such as one of the knights riding across the screen and killing a man, a modern-day historian who was lecturing about the Holy Grail. That scene just popped right into the movie, and then we went back to the movie. A little bit kooky. Each of the troupe members plays at least 6 different characters, many of which are oddball, and the costumes make you look twice to see who's playing the part, such as Tim the Enchanter and the old man from scene 24 who goes unnamed. Each scene is hilarious, with great dialogue and perfect comedic timing. I find it very funny that the knights don't ride horses, but they all pretend to, with the accompaniment of a guy slapping together 2 coconut halves for clopping sounds. I would like to describe 1 or 2 of the scenes to you, but I would be cheating you of enjoying it yourself for the first or 20th time. Maybe just this one clip of a scene. The knights need to go into a cave to get a clue regarding the location of the Grail, but the entrance is guarded by a fierce, fatal monster, a rabbit. I'll say no more. This film has become a cult classic with viewings on many college campuses. I admit it's not for everyone, but it might be for you. So if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. If you have seen it, go see it again. It's always worth it. And now the word of the day. The word of the day is mnemonic. Mnemonic. And it is spelled Mnemonic. The M is silent. So yeah, it's spelled just like it sounds. Mnemonic. It is a device such as a pattern of letters that assist in remembering something. For example, Roy G. Biv is a mnemonic to aid in remembering the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Another good mnemonic is every good boy deserves favor, and it helps in the recall of musical notes. I created a mnemonic to help me to remember the name of my friend's 4 kids, their names. The mnemonic, geez, that M is fucking me up, is FLEK, F-L-E-K. It stands for Faith, Lily, Ethan, and Caitlin. So that's the word of the day. See if I can get it right. Mnemonic. Thank you. How about the question of the day? First, I guess we need to answer the previous question, which was a negative times a negative equals a positive, but why? This can be established with mathematical proofs, which I can't do for you as I don't yet have video. However, there are several YouTube videos that provide the mathematical proofs. But think of it this way. The sentence, I ain't got no cherry pie, contains a double negative, which converts the sentence to its actual meaning, I got cherry pie. So I ain't got no pie, double negative, I got cherry pie. The true meaning of the sentence. It's the opposite. Thus, a negative times a negative is a positive. So I do have a new question for you. Not quite as hard as the previous one. My apologies. The new question of the day is, do the objects that surround us have color? Do everyday objects that we see, do they have color? That's the question of the day. Well, that's it for this episode. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will talk to you the next time. Thank you.